Well, no. Well, obviously, my boyfriend was my best friend.
No. So, did you start like friends with benefits or what?
Well, I moved to him, yeah, and I asked him out.
Wait. Give us the lowdown, man. How did this happen?
So he was in a relationship with another girl for 2 years. I was in a relationship with a guy for like a year. He broke up with his girlfriend. 2 weeks after that, my boyfriend dumped me. We were both just going through the rebound phase. Yeah. So we just kind of like went to each other because we were best friends. It was like boy, girl, whatever. And then it just worked out. And now 6 years in. And that was my first ever rebound. So...
And 6-year rebound, goddamn,
yeah, and then we just realized like this is actually a lot better than I thought it was. And had that rebound not happened, I would have never discovered that this person is like perfect for me, kind of thing.
Right. Were you friends? Were you already friends when you were in a relationship?
Yes, and my ex used to hate him. He basically even said after we broke up, and he found out that we obviously got together after because everyone could see it. It was at the same uni.
Yeah.
He even said to me, he was like, oh, I should have never trusted that guy. Blah, blah. But the thing is, when we were friends, we were so innocent. We never even like went to each other's rooms like that. We'd just see each other in the kitchen and communal areas at uni, being like a big friend group, maybe chat to each other, take like pictures with everyone. Like it was such a innocent friendship.
But there was an attraction there.
Yeah, definitely.
There was an attraction there. But because if there wasn't, you wouldn't have got together that quick.
Yeah, but it wasn't acted upon.
No, 100%. But like, you guys were like friends, but there was an attraction there.
I just felt a comfort off home with him. Let me just put it that way. Because he was
nice.
like, everything he had in his room and stuff like that reminded me of my house and like back home. So I just felt like when I was with him, I just felt like I'm home. And I never felt like that with anyone, which is how I knew in my heart, like, this is the guy for me. Like, if I can get a home feeling from someone, and I've never had that before, that's just saying something to me, my heart and my like head.
100%.
Yeah.
Completely get that. And that's actually beautiful. I love that. Let me ask you a question. Would you be okay, you know, the friendship that you guys had before you both ended, your respective relationships ended, would you be okay with him having that kind of friendship with another woman now?
Oh yeah, because he had 3 different girls that were same, like fighting to be his best friend, same as me. And one of them was my best friend.
Really?
Yeah, she used to hang out with him like one-on-one. They used to go shopping. That's what I mean. He was such a chill guy. He was, because he's got 2 sisters.
Right.
He knows how to be with girls. He's the only like boy in the family. Obviously, there's 3 of him. So there's 2 elder sisters. So he's so used to being around girls. He could just like gel with all of us. Like he could literally be the only guy in the girl group and we wouldn't feel some type of way because he knows how to act with us.
No, I get that. But I'm talking about the attraction part. Because you said like there was, because you guys were friends.
I would not know the attraction would be there even if he would be friends with another girl because obviously no one would tell me about that.
Of course, but like would you be okay with that being the case? He would never act on it. Like you guys never acted on it.
Yeah, that's fine.
But there was a level of attraction there.
That's fine because like I said, there's good looking people out there in the world. I don't really tell my man like you can't look. But I just tell him if you look, can I look too?
That's
kind of thing.
I love that. 100%. We said that too. But I'm not talking about, he can never find anyone else attractive because that's not real, right? I'm like a girl who's a close friend of his that has that same level of attraction you guys had, just never acted upon, and he's spending more time with her than he is with you. You telling me you'd be okay with that? Yes.
Has she met me before? Have I spent time with her as well? I'd want to actually just get to know her, have that one-to-one time with her at least once.
Yeah, you can say that you've met her.
So I have. Yeah. Okay, then I'd be fine. Because obviously when I have that one-to-one time, she would understand my personality. She would actually see how I am and she would respect it. And that's usually happened. Unless I would see like, if I spend that one-to-one time with her and I feel like she's a bit dodgy and you know when you can just sense a girl's just a bit iffy. If I get any inkling, then yeah, I would tell him. But if I have time alone with her and I see like she's genuinely a nice person, fair enough, like she's attractive, I don't blame you. I'd be like, yeah, that's calm. Like she's met me. She knows me. Like she wouldn't do anything like that. So...
It's a lot of confidence in that.
Really?
No. I don't think it's a bad thing. But I guess, I mean, some people don't care about being in like if someone's in a relationship. I'm not saying that this girl wouldn't, but
what if you trust your partner? I trust my partner. I'm saying. Yeah.
Of course, I think I would. I think there's an element of trusting your partner. Of course, if you didn't trust them, I don't know why would you choose to be with them. But also, it's what do you both do to help have respect for the relationship? So like, for example, like if I sense that a girl is like into me, right? Even if I think we could be friends because I'm not into her, I just wouldn't spend one-on-one time with her out of respect for my own relationship personally, because it's like, well, I'm not looking for friends, so I don't like need another friend.
Yeah.
And unless there's some gaining from like some kind of professional relationship, I don't see why else I would spend time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get that.
Whereas if I was single, then maybe I could spend time with her, even if it was only going to be friends. I could like allow the environment for maybe there to be a little bit of something. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm asking is, what's the level between having trust for your relationship, which I completely agree with, but then you both kind of putting boundaries in place with certain people to respect the relationship you have?
Well, I guess the one-to-one time, like you said, like if she is a bit flirty with him,
Sure.
then maybe the one-to-one time has to be in like
with me. I have to be there.
No. We don't want to be crazy psycho.
I was just joking.
I think the one-to-one time has to be like in public spaces.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely.
I agree.
Like you can't meet her in the house. In my house, like if we're living together, you can't meet her in my house like that when I'm not there. Just you two like in the sofa. Like it's just quiet. It's empty. Like at least be like in a restaurant or something where it's like you're sitting opposite each other. Like,
yeah.
So it would have to be in public spaces.
Public spaces.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that. If you could ask men one thing, what's one thing you would ask them?
If I could ask, like, just in general.
Yeah, the species of men.
What would I ask them? Oh, why do you guys like paying for girls? Like, honestly, why do you guys actually like? Yeah, why? What does it actually do? Like,
sure. I think a part of it is we feel obliged to because of the conditioning and culture we've been raised in. So we've been taught that.
But your job is breaking stereotypes as it is. Why can't you break your cultural stereotypes as well? Like,
I agree, but I think because the other thing is they want to make a good impression on the girl.
But there's other ways you can.
There is, but you would have heard from girls, like if a guy doesn't pay for her if he asked her out on a date, it can come across a certain way. Like a girl might think a guy doesn't even like her. A girl can think, oh, this guy's like cheap or whatever, or this guy can't, he can't be a guy who
and
can take care of me.
I've actually had girls be like that. So I remember once I was holding a bag or something, and then a girl was holding, like, we went shopping and she was holding a Zara bag, and she goes, oh, if my boyfriend was here, he would never let me hold this Zara bag. He would just take it off me. And then I basically said to her, oh, if my boyfriend was here, he would actually put his jacket in my bag. That's why I carry a big bag. And she was like, oh, my boyfriend would never let me do that. Like shunning me and like my boyfriend and what he would do.
Yeah, I don't think you should shun people. Let people have whatever kind of relationship. But the other thing I would say is that I think for a lot of guys and a lot of girls, actually, a lot of women, they want the man to be in the leadership role of the relationship. And so a lot of the time,
because that's what they've been taught. That's actually what they've been taught.
Partly, but it happens a lot where women who are leading in their own lives, they're the leader in their own relationship. Like I said earlier, they get to a point where they don't want to do that anymore. They want someone else to take the pressure off. They want someone else to take the stress off. They don't want someone else to make the decisions. They just want to be a passenger.
But why can't a guy feel like that?
He can, but a lot of the time, like, I'll be honest, finding a girl like you who's willing to take that position for a guy, you are incredibly rare. Most
really?
women, do you think most women would provide for a man?
I would love for them to, because
we
all talk about equality, don't we?
Well,
that's literally what it
you're
is.
making the guy's argument. I agree with you. But most women don't want to provide for a man. They don't.
It's because that's what they've been taught growing up.
Do you think that's what they've been taught, or do you think there's a level of nature involved when it comes to the masculine kind of being the more dominant, the more one in the leadership position?
Well, yeah, like I said, like the male is seen as a provider, but
sure.
That's only, I think, when you have a family, because when you have a child, yeah, a woman does have to do a lot more, and a child is more towards the mother than the father as it is. So the mom does have to take care. So yeah, then a guy will have to kind of step up. But before then, I don't think a girl has a right to think like that.
I get that. And I can't believe I'm sitting on this side of the argument, so to speak, because I agree with that perspective. But it's not even just about the providing money thing when you're having a family. It's also like, for example, like if a guy and a girl are walking home we agree that men generally are physically stronger than women, right? So a lot of the time, the man takes the responsibility to make sure that she gets home safe, or that they both get home safe. If he's taking on the responsibility, that means he's going to take leadership on the best way to get home, the safest route to get home. Because he's the one who's responsible for getting you both home safe, right?
Is he?
Yeah.
I'm more of the type of text me when you get home kind of person.
No. I mean, if you're out together, like if you're walking home, like from the station together or something, or if you are out together, generally speaking, the safety of the relationship usually falls to the guy, because generally speaking, guys are bigger and stronger. So it just I think that makes sense. It's not equality, but that's very much the case, right? So it's not even just the fact of the whole money thing, but there's also the whole thing of the safety, right? So in that environment, even though he may not be financially providing for you, he's providing safety and security. And in that sense, he would take leadership on that.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing I would say is that, and I'm probably get some heat for this, for somebody to be in a position of leadership, they have to be able to, a lot of the times it can require being quite logical, especially when you're doing it for the benefit of others. And not that empathy isn't important. Empathy is very much important, but a lot of the time it requires to be you have to be able to make the hard decisions for what's best for you and your group, right? And we know this, the empathetic levels in women is generally higher than men, generally speaking. Does that mean that women can't be leaders? Of course they can. We've had female leaders in this country, right? And around the world. But it's more, the phrase I use is that a lot of the time, a lot of women feel they want the man to be the stable mountain that their emotional waves can crash into.
But that's not fair. You're basically relying on, you're telling him, you need to be like this so I can rely on you. Why?
Well, what I would say is that there's no right or wrong. Like, it's not that a man should be this and a woman should be this, but there's pros and cons to everything.
I just feel like if I had a daughter and no sons, and she told me, Mom, I want to rely on a man, I'd be like, no, I've raised you better to be your own strong woman. Like, you'd want your own child. Do you get me?
Yep.
To be so independent. She doesn't have to like look at someone else and be like, I need to think about this person. It's more like she stands on her own 2 feet the way she is.
Is it not a good thing if she goes, I don't have to rely on a man, but I would like to, and I choose to?
Then I would ask her what's wrong with her and why. Seriously. I'm not even lying.
So if your daughter was like, I found this guy, very lovely guy, trustworthy, he wants to take care of me, provide for us and stuff.
Yes, calm, but you don't leave your job, and I want you to be secure in your career before you even try get married. So she has her own 2 legs to stand on completely, and then she can get married.
So if she wanted to like have kids, like if she's like in her mid-20s or late 20s.
Has she got a job?
She might have a job, but maybe she's not as secure, because for most people.
No.
You would say no?
No, because that's...
Even if she had a man who's willing to provide for her?
Yeah, because you're trying to bring the kid up with you just being a housewife, and then what are you going to tell your kid? Like, oh, mommy, what did you do when you were like younger? Oh, yeah, I just used to work in a restaurant.
Do you think the most important thing someone will do is have a career?
I think career does define a person the older we get. Think about it. Now, what do we have to talk about? It's not like who we are. It's literally our career. Our career is who we are. I
disagree with you. I don't think a career is who we are. And I think actually the older you get, the more connections become more important to you. Connections to family, friends.
Because when I have conversations with strangers, they always ask, what do you do?
But I think that's normal as professionals, because a lot of the time, like if you're meeting someone in a professional environment, they're going to ask what you do. If you meet someone in a social environment, yeah, of course, they do ask what you do, but they might ask, oh, like, where did you grow up? What did you study? Right? They might ask, do you have a girlfriend or do you have a boyfriend? Right? So I think that's just part of understanding who people are, because a lot of the time the career choices we choose have a level of reflection of our character type or our temperament. But I think that the older you get, no one's on their deathbed being like, damn, I really wish I'd got that promotion. It's always, I wish I spent more time with my family, more time with my kids, more time with my friends. So,
well, I come from a different environment because I'm kind of alone. Like, I don't really talk to my family or anything. So all I have in this world is myself. So right now, like, all I can do is rely on making myself and this career in such a way that I don't have to think about anything else because I don't have anyone here.
I get that. And I
Yeah.
think, I'm not saying it's a bad, excuse me. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's a great thing that you can do that for yourself and you're pursuing your dreams. That's beautiful. But do you think that someone's career is the most important thing that they'll do? Like,
No,
if your daughter
well-
finds a great person to
well,
build a
I
life
feel
with,
like if
what
you
does it
have-
matter if she was just a waitress at a restaurant for 4 years before that happened for
I
her?
would not want, because like, I feel like if you have a good career, everything else falls into place.
No, that's wrong.
Really?
Like, if you have a good career, that might mean that there's an element of fulfillment you have because you're pursuing what you want to do, if it's your passion, which is great. You may get financial benefits, so a level of financial abundance, which is great. But if you don't have connection, if you don't have a community, like whether that's family and friends, that life will get very hollow very quickly. And actually, this is a big reason why mental health issues are rising in first world countries and not third world countries. Because in first world countries, we prioritize career, we prioritize making money, we prioritize all the professional endeavors, but we don't prioritize community.
Yeah.
We don't prioritize having connections. We don't prioritize, how do we spend our time together? Like, is our quality time this or is our quality time this?
Yeah.
We don't prioritize these things. The happiest people I've met, I was shooting for a film in Tamale, northern Ghana. The happiest people I met were the people of that tribe. And they had next to nothing in comparison to us. Next to nothing. But everything they did had meaning for their tribe and their family and their community. And I think what we're realizing is that because we have prioritized the professional aspect of our lives so much, when we have a lack of connection, it doesn't matter how amazing this is. Ultimately, that's not fulfilling for the soul. That's not fulfilling, and connections enrich the human experience. So I think what you're doing, being independent, doing your career and everything, that's amazing. 100% do you, go get your thing, man. Like, build the life that you want. But I would say that to neglect the connection side or to think that the career part is the most important thing that you'll have.
Well,
I
when
think it's
connections
not.
break all around you, and they have been when you did prioritize them over career, you will lead more towards career.
I
Do you get
completely
me?
understand.
It's like I
that.
used to be the person that did prioritize connections a lot more than anything else. And then they all just started backfiring on me. And it kept happening again and again and again. And they always tell you the universe will always keep teaching you the same lesson until you learn it.
Sure.
That was my way of learning it.
I get that. But
Yeah.
maybe, let me pose this. Maybe it's not that you were prioritizing the connections, which was wrong. Maybe it was who you were prioritizing it to. Because you have an amazing partner right now of 6 years, right? Do you know what I mean? And
But it's just the friends that got a bit wavy
Of
along
course.
the way. Yeah.
And the thing is, part of life's journey is some people come into our life for a season. And that's part of it. And that doesn't even mean that that doesn't mean that your friendships was bad with these people when it was there. Just maybe it doesn't suit now because you've both grown separately and, now you've seen a different side to them and all of this. You're like, okay, wow, like you're really not the person for me. But that doesn't mean the connection was wrong.
Yeah.
That might just mean that person was there for a season. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get that.
Hope you really enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full episode where that clip is from, then I want you to click right here where you can watch the full episode. And if you're ready to claim your man today, enroll in my program below, and I'll see you there. Wishing you an amazing day.